What's up, guys? So, I'm basically high right now. Just took about 7 grams of kratom, and then, like, this much, like, vodka, like that much, like, out of a glass. I'm really planning on quitting, and the weird thing is, you're gonna see me change. Like, once I quit, once a few days goes by, it's like a rapid recovery. So that's also like a hope, as if you are a drug user. Like, unfortunately, I think that drugs make you change. So like, it takes a while for you to become normal and not act so turnt all the time, because there's permanent changes that are made from the drugs, which could be viewed as a bad thing. But as far as like your brain chemistry and stuff, well, like, you getting past like random lower frequency depression and just low frequency like hangovers and coming down. Like, coming down is like a low frequency, you know, like when you come down off something, that whatever it's doing to your body is kind of like a low frequency. That's a bad feeling. And so that's the thing, is I'm gonna cut out like everything, you know, for the most part. My first job is to cut out nicotine. That's gonna be the big one that I cut out, because it's just not even, it doesn't even do much anymore. It has this way of relieving stress, but it doesn't like add much euphoria. Like, I don't get much, even first thing in the morning, I don't get much as far as like how it used to be. I mean, I might feel dizzy, but not like buzz like how it used to be, you know? So kratom's the same way. I get like 30% of the full 100 that I used to get from kratom. I used to get the full 100% high. It used to be awesome. I used to just take it and get like high for 2 hours. It would last 2 hours. And so yeah, my path now is going to be sobriety. In fact, it's been over the past like month, 2 months. I think I started 2 months ago was when I first started. Around then is when I first started cutting stuff down. So I went from drinking like half a bottle of vodka a night to drinking 3 beers a night. I went from about 11.5 grams of kratom to about 7 grams of kratom. I used to take it 3 times a day, and now I take it twice a day. So there's that. I'm just waiting to get this stuff completely out of my system, because there's a level of antidepressant qualities that are achieved when you cut this stuff out. Like, there's a certain level of happiness, and like, and it doesn't always have to tie into this like drug hit, like this, you know, like this hit of euphoria. It doesn't always have to be that same kind of high. It's more just like life stuff, like just happy because you know spiritual truths about life, which are literally like visually distracting you from inner truths about life. Now, I mean, from like coming down off of drugs, I mean, it might show you something, it might show your spirit something when you first take it, but then over time, I mean, within like an hour, 2 hours, by the time it wears off, it's so, yeah, it's all like, kratom is a good drug. Kratom's a good drug because it's something you can get your hands on with a decent rush if you take enough, and it doesn't have any fentanyl in it. It's FDA regulated or something like that. All I know is they have to go through the pills and make sure it's not cut with anything. They have to make sure that it's like 100% kratom, so you're not really looking at overdose or death, and even still, the complications, like the consequences, are not nearly as bad as heroin. Heroin's the one where you can't, like, your bones ache too much to get out of bed. I haven't had that. On a day, like, if I go tomorrow, which I'm planning on doing, I go with no kratom tomorrow. That's what I'm planning on doing. Tomorrow's gonna be my first day without it. I'm not gonna have any of that stuff. I may get a cold, but that's it. It's really not that bad, but for how much I've taken it, my side effects are very minimal, because I was using it a lot, and I spoiled the high. So sobriety is gonna be my path for now, and then I can kind of just view drugs as like the illegal ones, anyways, as like a fixed for a certain time, like little celebrations, I can just do it here and there, and it'll work better when I do. Like I won't take it as often. Maybe stick to the weekends. That might be my first thing. If I'm gonna drink, I'll do it on the weekends. You know. And it's not even, like, these kind of drugs, like, we're not talking about cocaine or methamphetamine here. I mean, kratom's good while it lasts, but if you're like me and you've been using it for 5 years or whatever it's been, it doesn't hit you the same as what it used to. It can be slightly disappointing. It used to be, like, dreamy as hell. It used to be so dreamy. It used to be this whole trip, I'd take it and just space out on, like, spiritual journeys. Like, it's hard to explain, but this motherfucker talking about. Anyways, catch a motherfucker doing something, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. If you ask me, if you're doing stuff kind of like me, like you're sticking more like alcohol and illegal stuff, those, you want to taper off the alcohol if you're a heavy drinker. I just stick to beer or White Claws, because it's a way to get in like a little bit without getting like messed up, and just kind of taper off. But pretty soon here, I'm gonna get like sober. You know, I'm gonna be drinking like, I'll have 1 cup of coffee in the morning, probably the equivalent of like 120 milligrams of caffeine. I'm not gonna do nothing crazy, not the 2 times caffeine, but like 120 milligrams in the morning. And then I'll even cut that out sometimes, like maybe on the week, maybe on a Sunday, or I'll just take Sundays to go sober completely, you know. So then from there, that would give me at least 1 day off coffee a week. I mean, it's not like I even need coffee. It's hard. It's like a mental crutch, because it's just something to reach for when you don't have any other drugs, is coffee. You know? But this is about to save me money. This is about to save me money and my mentality. I'm about to get a lot more successful once I get sober, because even though it helps me, drunk, like, is a very quick boost of success, because you can get the people around you to think that you're like very funny person, and you can't like rob that from someone if they're good at drinking. If they're like extremely funny to be around when they're drinking, like, that is them, if that makes any sense. But you know, it can make you just like take where you're at, right? Take where you're at. It's gonna make you just that much more stupid, you know? And I don't think you can't recover from that, but I think if you're just a hardcore drinker all the time, during that season that you've been drinking, you might just be like 2 steps slower. Like, yeah. So anyways, 10 minutes of sobriety talk. View it as points. Just limit, taper off. Just give yourself a time. Tell yourself the easy answer at first to get yourself to do it, that you're just going to taper off. You're just going to do it less, or less doses, or like lower dosages when you do it, or something like, or both, you know.